Alright guys, I'm on my way to Dubai, the Las Vegas of the Middle East, to compete at my first Premier League over there. But first, gotta get that juice in. You know how people always get sick on airplanes? That's why before I fly, I always try to have like a juice or something like that to get those vitamins, you know? This right here, Wired, is one of my favorite magazines. Super cool. I love the way they do it. I don't get it. Who the hell keeps sending them my photos? Look, that guy's defrosting the plane because it's freaking cold here. But I expect it to be much warmer in Dubai. Oh, by the way, the menu, the food menu for the plane is like in Arabic or something. You pronounce that Arabic or Arabic? Six hours later, we've landed in Dubai. It's midnight, it's past 12, and it's 25 degrees outside. I'm loving it already. Good morning, guys. Day one in Dubai. Today I'm gonna go to the registration for the competition, but also see what else I can find in this awesome city. And from what I've seen so far, this is an amazing place, especially the breakfast. Bon appetit! Registration time. And now it's time for some fancy food. This is like a huge, I don't know, barbecue chicken thing. It's called a kebab. And it's like part of my diet because I follow a diet known as the paleo diet, where you try to eat as clean as possible. So you avoid like sugar and processed food and bread and pasta. All of that delicious stuff that you usually like to eat, not for me. But of course, sometimes a little bit of white rice, as you see here, is good when you need those carbs for competing tomorrow. For me, this is the perfect way to prepare for a competition or tournament. Not training, not jogging, because I see so many people just trying to do last minute training, and that's just waste of time because the hard training should already be done if you did your preparation perfectly. And for me, just mentally trying to relax, enjoy the moment, like here, being on the beach, doing some shopping, walking around, seeing the city, being with friends, just having fun and enjoying the moment. That's the best preparation for me, and not thinking too much about tomorrow, because in my experience, overthinking leads to underperforming. Of course, some light movement, some stretching, and that, you know, you can do that, sure, but don't try to do the competition today if it's not today. It's tomorrow, so be in the moment here and now. Today it's time to compete. Here we are. I think that's the tournament venue. And look, a freaking Lambo right in front of it. Only in Dubai.
Every player one coach on
Yes, I won 3-2 first round. I was like the absolute first in the whole tournament, so you know, it was a little bit nervous, but I'm pretty satisfied anyway. I did Tomari Basai Kata, and my opponent did Goju Shiho Sho from Shotokan. And like I said, 3-2, and now I'm just gonna rest and then start preparing for the next round. Well, that's it. I lost. Unfortunately, we cannot film when I did my kata because you can only film if you're media or press. Anyway, I did Anand and my opponent did MP. And I mean, his kata was flawless and I was a bit too tense. I should have been a bit more relaxed or managed my tension better. Of course, you need some strength and tension as well, but at the right moment, right? And I had a bit too high overall tension in my kata, which means that I couldn't have that flow and relaxation that's needed for a really good kata. And at this level, you have to have a really good kata every time. So, you know, there are no failures, only lessons, as long as you learn from your failures, right? And I always try to learn from when I lose. It's just a lesson. Now the competition is over for my part, but there's still one very important thing left to do. See, I have this rule that if I go to a tournament, no matter if I win or lose, doesn't matter what happens, I always have to reward myself for putting in the hours, the travel and everything just to get here and try my best. And to reward myself, I usually try to find a good hamburger. These malls here in Dubai are sick. This one has like 300 stores. It's basically a city within the city. And all of these areas around the whole Dubai are like small cities. So nobody ever leaves their own area basically. It's huge here. It's like, I thought it would be like Vegas in the Middle East, but it's like 20,000 Vegases put together, stacked in like a pile out in the desert. It's super incredible, this place. Wow. Guys, I said I was gonna eat a burger, right? And now I'm eating a burger. My point is, follow your dreams. That is good. You know, for so many years, whenever I went to a tournament, I used to just see the arena, the airport, and the hotel. I never looked around, I never tried to explore the culture or the people there. But lately, like, I try to make it a more of an enjoyable experience, not just in terms of competing, but, you know, trying to explore the whole city or the country where I am. So I always try to schedule in a few extra days, because I think if you travel from around half the world just for a tournament, why not make more of that trip, right? So from here on, I'm always trying to make more of these trips and not just competing, because that's just a small part of karate anyway, right? And life. So we're walking here and we come across this sign that says the best donuts in the world. Well, we'll see about that. Hello. Hi, sir. All right, let's see if this truly is the best donut in the world. I said that I always reward myself after tournaments, right? Well, this is just part of the reward. Okay, I chose the salted caramel. There's something about salty and sweet together. Oh, look, there's a hole. It's a real donut. Ready? 1, 2. It's good, but I like Mr. Donuts in Japan, Okinawa, even better. So I can't say this is the world's best donut. That's false advertising right there. But it's still good. A lot of people ask me how to get into the best state of mind before a competition or before doing a grading or anything that requires optimal performance. So I thought I would teach you guys a very important concept. Look. This graph right here represents your optimum state of mind for high performance. This is your stress or level of tension and anxiety. This going up is your level of performance. And the interesting idea here is that your optimum level of performance here, peak performance, is when you have a perfectly balanced amount of stress or anxiety or tension in your body. So if you have too much tension or stress, then you're over here, right? And as you can see, that's a low level of performance, which means that you need to learn how to relax. For example, by mental training, visualization, breathing exercises, these types of hacks to get down on the tension level, which means that your performance goes up. Can you see that? Peak performance. On the other hand, there are some people who are naturally very relaxed. They're down here, which means that their performance is suffering. They need to pump themselves up to get up here to that peak. And many people do this through listening to music like rock music, or slapping themselves or screaming. And you can see these types of people often in the gym when people need to get psyched up before a lift. So it's really important, if you want to perform at your highest level, that you understand this whole idea and know yourself. Are you a naturally relaxed person? Then you need to get yourself up here to the top of the performance. Or if you are a naturally anxious or stressed person, then you need to get down in your anxiety level, in your stress level, so that you can perform on the top. And at the end of the day, it's all about knowing yourself and knowing how you function for optimum performance, because everyone are different. And this applies not only to competing in karate, but for anything where you have to perform at your highest level, because it all starts in the mind. We're standing in front of like the world's tallest building. It's called the Burj Al Khalifa or something like that. Just look at that, it's incredible. Now we're not gonna go up there, of course, because that seems pretty dangerous, and it's probably huge lines, because when I went to New York one time, I had to stand in line for like 5 hours for the Empire State Building, so just imagine the lines for that. Instead, I'm gonna go into the Dubai Mall, which is right behind me. They have 1,200 shops and like 500 restaurants. This is the capital of capitalism. This mall is crazy. Look, on that sign you can see they have an ice rink, they have an aquarium, they have a zoo, they have a waterfall. I mean, that's just, like I said, it's like a city. This is insane. It's like a huge aquarium, and if you pay, you can actually go inside. You can see some people in there. They got like stingrays and tuna and sharks, and I'm getting hungry just by looking at it. It's like free sashimi, right? Just kidding. They actually have a real dinosaur skeleton right here, which is 155 million years old. And look at this huge thing. I mean, imagine living at the same time that these beasts roam the earth. This is just off the chain. You know what I think is ridiculous? When people say that traditional karate and sports karate do not go hand in hand. But I'm a karate nerd, so I strive to bridge that gap and learn the best of both worlds. And I think you should too, because, for example, a traditional karate practitioner can learn so much about the sports science and psychology of competitive athletes. And a sports karate guy can learn tons about the philosophy and traditions of old school self-defense based karate. And if you are a karate nerd, you should strive to have them like your right hand and your left hand, always working together, learning from the past to understand and improve the future. In Japanese, we call this onko chishin. Your link to the past is your bridge to the future. Sports karate and traditional karate should go hand in hand. One of the best things about sport karate is that it motivates a lot of people to train harder. And this is something I see especially with my own students, that when there's a tournament coming up, they start showing up to the dojo a lot more, even on their own, and incorporating stuff like strength training and cardio and all of these other things that regular people rarely do in their training. So, and I think it's good that sport or competing motivates people to train harder and excel. But it's really important to understand that there will come a time when you cannot compete anymore, when you're too old, when you're not strong, young, and handsome anymore. And what happens then? Will you quit or will you continue? That is why all your motivation ultimately has to be internal and not external, because in the end, competing is not about trophies and medals and wins and losses. It's about defeating your own sense of weakness and insecurity and ego, because that's how you actually make karate a way of life and not just a sport or a hobby. Guys, I'm in the car on my way to an epic adventure in the desert.
Front to back and they love my so I reply. Baby girl, don't you know that I am the fly?
We're gonna ride camels. Look. Oh my god.
Back seat, you said back.
Back?
Yeah, lady first.
This is what happens when you're in the desert. I think even my sock has some sand in it. Okay. Look, I think it's supposed to be a spider or a crab or something like that. I love crayfish, maybe it's crayfish. She said we could not film it, unfortunately, so you couldn't see, but she basically had this tube and some like henna paint, and she did this by hand. Really cool. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, guys. I am at the airport on my way home. This trip might be over, but the journey continues. Just leave a comment and let me know if you want me to keep filming my karate trips for you. Now, I might not be going home with a big ass trophy, but I got a lot of memories in my backpack. And that's what it's all about. Collect moments, not things. Peace out.